Welcome to Bay Area Art Beat. We're having a special program about special things happening for the holiday season. I want to welcome everybody, and I want to welcome Julie McCroy to her own gallery, to her show gallery. And this is the first time this is the second time I've been here, but I think it's a wonderful place. And please tell us a little bit about yourself and about the gallery.
Well, thank you for being here, Susan. It's nice to have you here. I opened the gallery almost 3 years ago.
Wow.
I'd had a gallery in San Francisco prior, and to be honest, I'm an East Bay girl. I've been here since I was 8 years old. I grew up in Berkeley, Oakland, and Albany schools, so I know this area, it's like the back of my hand. And I wanted to come back to this side of the bay and open an art gallery that did three things. Supports local artists, and not just supports them here, but also gets them seen in the wider world. I had too many clients that were flying off to Europe or flying to New York to get artworks when we have a plethora of some of the best artists in the world here in the Bay Area.
Right. Beautiful.
So wanted to do that. I also wanted to make a safe space for artists who are already out there, already working, to try new things. So we have a lot of different shows, a lot of different styles that come through, all amazing quality. But I love when a landscape artist suddenly says, I'd like to take a break for a minute and do an entire series of still lifes. You know, I really want to encourage artists to be free to take a break, try something different, expand their horizons.
Right.
So, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about you.
Like I said, I got here when I was 8 years old.
Oh, yeah.
The way many people did, in the back of a hippie van in the 70s. Grew up here in numerous areas in the Bay Area, studied art from the very beginning.
Oh, yes.
There used to be an arts middle school in Oakland called Renaissance School of the Arts, which was long before the art school that's there now, which is wonderful, performing arts and artists. And basically just grew up here. I came from Georgia originally.
Oh, really? We're in Georgia.
Savannah, which is a piece of artwork in itself.
Really?
It's a very historic town. And so coming out here was different, but there's so much here.
Yeah.
There's so much art. There's so much to do.
Yeah.
To be able as a child or a young person to take classes at CCA was just a dream.
Yeah.
It is an artist's dream out here.
Right. Well, I got in touch with you because I was told that you know exactly what's happening in West Berkeley, and if you could, you're going to send us a graphic and we're going to put it on the screen, but if you could just kind of talk to us a little bit about things going on.
I'll talk to you about a few because there's so many, there's no way I could tell you everything.
No, right.
We have so many arts activities happening in West Berkeley, ranging from all the way down at the south end. You have Paulson Fontaine Press, all the way up here to the Gilman District, where you have Maker's Studio or Firehouse Art Studio. Right now for the holidays, there is the Berkeley Artisans Holiday Open Studios, and they're up to almost 200 artists and galleries and studios that are open in the event.
If people hadn't been to that, it's really remarkable. And I want to publicly thank Susan Brooks for organizing that. It's a real act of love that she puts it together.
Yes.
And it's amazing to go and visit people in their studios, and some people welcome you right into their homes to come look at their work. And people can find, do you know where people can find the calendars?
They can find them here.
Great. All right.
Actually, in so many of the studios here in the Gilman District, Firehouse Art Studio is going to be open next weekend. They'll have them. Mary Law Pottery, 1 block from here, is open as we speak.
Yeah.
And she has them. So they're really everywhere, all over town. Any of the
great.
frame shops as well.
Great. Anything else that you'd like to spotlight?
Things I would like to spotlight too are 4th Street itself, even if it's not necessarily an arts event. Next weekend they're going to be having an event for children outside. They're going to have the lights lit up. They're going to have all kinds of activities for young people. So that's kind of fun.
Is there a schedule for that, like when they'll be singing or when they'll be?
There is a schedule for that.
Yeah.
I don't have it in my mind right now, but I
No,
can send
if
it
you
to
sent it, maybe we could post that also.
Yes, I'll
But I know
definitely do
that I went there last year to hear the carols, and I just kind of missed them. I mean, I was like in the wrong place, always at the wrong time. But
I'll definitely
I
make
mean,
sure to get that to
It's
you.
wonderful that they have that singing, and people can join in, right?
People can join it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of the entire list of events, but I know there were some wonderful singers coming. They were going to do some crafts projects, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot going on.
Yeah.
And then both of our Potters studios are opening.
Yeah.
Berkeley Potters Guild
Yeah.
and the Potters Studio are going to be having some amazing sales.
Oh, great.
Maker Studio, which is not on the Berkeley Artisans Holiday Open Studios, is having an Etsy fair next weekend.
Oh, where's Maker Studio?
Maker Studios at 6th and Harrison, right next to Fieldworks Brewery, so it's nice. You can go have a beer and something to eat, and then you can go get some work.
Great. How long has that been there?
Maker Studio, I'm not sure exactly, at least 5 years, but I'm not
wow.
sure how
Okay.
much longer.
And I mean, this is a great learning experience for me, and I think, I think I know a lot of things, but there's so much more to know. I saw something that looked like it should be a lot of fun. It's a celebration at the waterfront, and it says a parade of lit boats, 5:30 on September 8th. I've never seen that before. I mean, I've never seen it advertised, I've never seen it in person, but if nothing else is compelling, I'm going to try to go down there and see what that's like.
You've told me about something I didn't know about.
Anyway, so is there anything else that you'd like to mention?
Honestly, just that there is so much going on
Yeah,
here in
yeah.
West Berkeley that
Yeah.
even though it may look like a sleepy area of town, scratch the surface and there's a lot happening.
Yeah.
Including Ashkenaz, music at Ashkenaz
Right.
and 924 Gilman.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much for welcoming us to your really beautiful gallery, and I hope people will take the time to come down here and to check it out. And I love what you've done with a little bit of landscaping outside, and
Thank you so
it's very
much.
welcoming. Nice chairs to sit in, and good luck for the holiday season.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for being here, really. Thanks a lot. We'll be back with the next guest shortly. And again, it's been a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
We're gonna call Dasher, Dancer, Princess, Vincent, Comet, Cupid, and Donna. And listen, but don't forget the most famous reindeer of all. Rudolph the red-nosed
Welcome back to Bay Area Art Beat. It is a great pleasure now to interview the new director of the KPFA Crafts Fair, Neve Lionheart. And I love the Crafts Fair. The KPFA Crafts Fair has always been a spectacular event. It's always been really important to KPFA, and it's a great way now in this time of untruth-telling to enjoy some truth. So tell me about who you are and a little bit of your background and how you got this wonderful job.
So I am a handbag designer. I've been doing, so I make and design handbags.
Right.
And I've been doing craft shows up and down the West Coast for the past 5 or 6 years.
Right.
And I met Jan Eitri through a mutual friend who actually has a studio in the same warehouse that I work in. And Jan was looking for somebody to take over. She's ready to retire, and she was looking for the right person, and somehow she realized it was me. So,
Great,
yeah.
great. Where's your studio?
My studio is in East Oakland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. You're not going to have your own work in the fair. You're going to have your own work.
No.
I think that would be an impossible task.
Yeah, I've been on hiatus since early in the summer in order to work on the craft fair.
Right.
This is my first year doing it, so I want to make sure I give it all my attention.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
And you had very short notice to come here, and real trooper. You get a star.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
So tell us more about the crafts fair.
So this year we'll have more than 200 different exhibitors and craftspeople, artists, craftspeople, some small businesses, including artisan foods, fair trade, a handful of nonprofits. We also have KPFA broadcasting live from the fair, as they always do, for a couple of hours each morning.
Yeah.
And they'll be interviewing a list of artists on air, just quick little interviews, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a spectacular year.
Yeah, well, thank you. Now, there's an admission charge, right? And that goes to KPFA?
There is, yeah. So admission is $12 for adults and $8 for senior and disabled, and kids under 18 are free. And you're right, the door goes to KPFA, and this is one of KPFA's, actually it is the largest off-air fundraiser for KPFA.
Yeah, so you're not only, I mean, you're contributing to KPFA as well as, and there's food there, there's entertainment, there's all those things.
So GDC Kitchen caters the food for the event, and they're a locally owned catering company. It's a veteran, women, minority-owned business, and we will have a DJ there giving us great music. He's a big fan of KPFA. He's really excited to do it.
Oh, great. And do you get a percentage of the food, this food sales, or
No.
they pay to have a space there, though?
They don't.
Oh, they don't?
No.
Okay, but the craftspeople who are there pay to have a space?
They do, yes.
Yeah. You don't take a percentage of their sales, though, do you?
No, they pay the booth fee, and that's a flat fee, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's great. So what else would you like to tell us? This parking?
There is plentiful free parking. It's slightly rearranged this year because you may know the ferry terminal is set to open in Richmond in January. So that's happening right there, but as a result, they've redone some of the grounds around the Craneway. It's really beautiful, but they're finishing up that last bit of construction. So we have plentiful free parking. We're also running a shuttle from BART, and because the parking lots will be slightly farther away this year, we're doing a stop there too. So shuttles from BART, shuttles from the parking lot.
Oh, good. So which BART is the shuttle from?
The Richmond BART station.
The Richmond BART.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good.
We're trying to make it as easy as possible for folks.
Yeah. And you want to talk about some of the crafts that are there?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we have many categories, broad categories. Textile arts, wearable textiles, ceramics, glass, woodworking, paper arts, artisan foods, like I mentioned earlier. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. Let's see, I've been doing a series of studio interviews with some of the different exhibitors, so that's been very exciting. I get to get a peek into their process.
Oh, great, great.
So for processes, so I'm a crafts person, but that doesn't mean that I know in depth how other people's process works.
Right.
So getting an insight into how traditional jewelry is made, like sort of in the old world style, has been very interesting.
Yeah.
This,
you mentioned that the artist who made this is going to be at the fair.
Yeah, so this is a piece from Mira Blackman, and she creates garments from hand-woven, hand-dyed vintage African textiles.
Oh, great.
And they're really interesting. So they have these sort of, they're vintage and they're hand-woven, so they have all of these, sometimes they have holes that she mends by hand. It's like wearing a very fashionable story. I really love it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of philosophy there of recycling fabrics and reusing things. Yeah.
There's quite a few artisan exhibitors who make heavy use of upcycling and repurposing. So to name a few, we have Multicolores from Guatemala. They'll be represented there, and that is a Mayan women's hand-hooked rug making cooperative.
Okay.
So they take recycled cotton clothing that actually originally comes from the US, and they turn it into these beautiful hand-hooked rugs and embroidered dolls. Johanna Sprague also uses repurposed pretty much everything in her work.
Yeah.
Just to name a couple off the top of my head.
Yeah. Well, that's very exciting. I mean, it's nice when something kind of suits many purposes. And you have a jury that makes a selection
We do,
some of the
yeah.
things, because I've always found the quality very, very high.
Yes.
Very high quality in the show.
It
And
is.
people really want to do it, and people really want to go.
Yeah.
So friends, there's a great opportunity to support KPFA, look at some beautiful work, hear some wonderful entertainment, get some good food. And it's towards the end of the month. It's the 22nd and
yeah.
23rd. Yeah, okay, thank you, really. Thank you, it was
so
a
much,
pleasure.
Susan. It was a pleasure to meet you and be here today. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer
So,
had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeers used to laugh and call him names, and they never let poor Rudolph play in any of their reindeer games.
Welcome, Chris Worthington. Such a pleasure to have you here.
The pleasure's mine.
And you have been such a major force in Berkeley in terms of the arts and in terms of what you've done on your own, but also your ability to put coalitions together. And I feel now that the arts are in a better position than they've ever been in Berkeley. And I mean, of course, I have to thank everybody that has coalesced with you, but thank you for being the moving force. It's been fabulous. It's been fabulous. And I'm delighted to have you here on Bay Area Art Beat. And I want you mainly to talk about festivities and things in your district on the South Side, but I also want you to talk a little bit about what you've done in Berkeley. So it's all yours. Go to it.
Well, thank you. And certainly one of the greatest benefits to the arts in the last few years is when Mayor Tom Bates and then Mayor Arreguín followed in his footsteps and made you the ambassador for the arts. That has really helped promote and publicize all kinds of great arts activities and particular artists. So Berkeley is richly blessed by your contributions.
Thank you, Chris.
The South Side and Telegraph area are, when I've hitchhiked around the world, people all know Telegraph Avenue. And we've had a significant revitalization of that neighborhood over the last decade. Stuart Baker, coming on with the Telegraph Business Improvement District, has really focused on helping the arts and also the small businesses. We not only have events, which we've had for many years, but there's also a walking tour of sort of the Telegraph area, including artistic highlights.
Do you know when that's given?
It's available. And it can be done anytime.
Oh, so they'll put the tour together if people want. Great.
Right.
Maybe we could put that up on the screen too.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Okay.
And but most of my arts advocacy isn't related to the district. It's more related to citywide.
Yes.
My first couple of years, I just sponsored a little, like $10,000 for this art group or $5,000 for that arts group. But then in 2001, after I'd been there 5 years, I realized all these little pennies and dimes were not enough. And I proposed that at that point that the city double all city funding for the arts. And that was seen as a wild-eyed radical idea in 2001. And interestingly, the person who co-sponsored it with me is the person who's also leaving the council now, Linda Mayo. And it was seen as wildly visionary and impossible. But in the intervening years, we have increased arts support by millions of dollars. We were giving, twice as much money in the civic arts grants done through the Civic Arts Commission.
Yeah, that's so important.
And Jesse is sticking to having arts, proposals go through the Arts Commission, get reviewed and compared to other possibilities.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people feel the process is smoother and fairer, and there's a lot more money. Tomorrow night, on November 27th, we'll be voting on this year's budget, which includes the proposed $75,000. The same increase that we did for 1 year, we're now extending it again to have an extra $75,000 for the civic arts grants.
Great.
So that's really exciting. You know, I also was lucky to participate in helping arts groups relocate, like Freight and Salvage moving downtown, the Aurora Theater relocating, and someday, you know, I think some of the people at the Berkeley Arts Center have had this vision of a sort of central downtown facility that would make it easier for people to use public transit to get to their shows.
Yeah.
Because they're so racially diverse in the showings, I think they're the most diverse. Every year they always have Asians, Latinos, African Americans, Native Americans, people from other countries. And so I'm really hoping that that will get closer to public transit so a lot more people can enjoy the diversity of the Berkeley Arts Center.
Yes, yeah. One thing I should say, that they have a show that anybody who lives in Berkeley and is a member of the center pays $50 and can be in the show. And I just think it's, well, it's certainly inclusive. I mean, nobody is included if they're, excluded if they're willing to be a member. And that's coming up. This program isn't going to be on the air until the 5th of December. But to be in that show, I think it's the 7th and 8th of December. If somebody wants to be in the show, they should check, because that's pretty amazing. And I guess that, well, I feel the whole switch in supports for the art. It's not an upward. I mean, it's not such an uphill battle. I do feel the support out there. And you're right, the mayor has been terrific. He's been really, really listening and open and really incredible, keeping the promises that he's made. And so, what celebrations will I see you at this year?
I love the vitality and of so many different kinds of arts and cultural activities, and every week, every month, I go to lots of different community events. It's one of the most fun parts of living in Berkeley.
It is. One of the things that I love, and I want to mention it, is that Christmas Day from 11 to 3 at Saul's in North Berkeley, they have all kinds of klezmer musicians come out and play. And to just listen to the music and dance, there's no cost for that. And it's a great deal of fun. So if anybody still doesn't have their plans timed down or want to do something before Christmas dinner, dancing is always a very good alternative. So thank you, and just thank you for what you've done, and thank you for being here, and have a wonderful holiday season.
Thank you.
And we'll be back. I'll be back with a few concluding words, and in the meantime, keep up the good work. Do you have any plans of what the future's gonna bring?
Then all the reindeers loved him and shout his name with glee. And Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you go down in history.
So Chris Worthington told me that he has not missed a single meeting of the City Council. I think that's noteworthy. I like to end every program with a poem, and my poem is 10,000 flowers in the spring, the moon in autumn, a cool breeze in the summer. If your mind isn't clouded with unnecessary things, this is the best season of your life. So these are my season's greetings to everybody. Have a great time, December, with the wonderful things going on. Make this the best season of your life. And happy holidays, everybody, whatever you're doing everywhere. If we haven't been able to include you in what's happening this year, let us know for next year, and we'll try to include you then. Thank you so much, everybody. Happy holidays again.